President Mamoon Hussain assures resolution of the issue of Pakistani Bengalis. President Mamoon Hussain assured that Pakistani Bengalis issue, including issuance of identity cards, would be resolved on priority basis. He said the National Database and Registration Authority would be directed for issuance of identity cards to Pakistani citizens without any hindrance. The President was talking to a delegation of Pak Muslim Alliance led by Khwaja Salman, son of late prominent leader of Pakistan movement, Khwaja Khairuddin. The President said that no citizen of the country could be deprived of identity card facility, and Nadra would be directed that all the hurdles in issuance of identity cards to Pakistani Bengalis should be removed. Operation cannot foil resolve for self-determination, Prime Minister Shahid Khaqan Abbasi. Prime Minister of Pakistan Shahid Khaqan Abbasi has condemned recent Indian aggression in Indian-occupied Kashmir, in which 17 people have been murdered so far. He urged India to stop atrocities in Kashmir and calling legitimate struggle for independence terrorism. He said that oppression cannot stop the struggle for self-determination. He further emphasized the role of UN resolutions in this matter and told India to allow UN fact-finding mission in Kashmir to gauge the whole situation. Zia-JIT probe limited to documents obtained from Supreme Court, says Wajid Zia. The Accountability Court was informed on Monday by Wajid Zia that the probe in the Evanfield Reverence case was limited to the documents provided to the Joint Investigation Team by the Supreme Court. During the hearing, Zia continued to be cross-examined by Defense Counsel Khwaja Haris, who pleaded that the court should record the proceedings of the Evanfield case for future reference. The documents provided by the Supreme Court included constitutional petitions, multiple CMAs, and the petitions and responses filed against the Sharif family. Zia told the court. Nawaz Sharif's counsel Khwaja Haris was trying to point towards the fact that the land rent agreement, professional licenses, and the premises where the factory was set up were not investigated. Zia conceded that the team had not probed Gulf Steel Mills, which was renamed to Ahli Steel Mills. The cross-examination led to a debate over the 1978 and 1980 agreements, which revealed that 75% of the shares of the steel mills belonging to Abdullah Ahli, while the remaining 25% remained in the name of Tariq Shafi. NAB action against government pre-poll rigging, says Federal Minister for Interior and Planning, Development and Reforms, Ehsan Iqbal. Federal Minister for Interior and Planning, Development and Reforms, Ehsan Iqbal says the National Accountability Bureau was not active in the last 4.5 years, and one wonders what has happened to make it active when the general elections are only 2 months away. He said the government had purchased land worth Rs 100 billion to construct the Daimir Basha Dam, of which the construction is hopefully to start this year. Malala family leave for UK after 4 days in Pakistan. Nobel laureate Malala Yousafzai and her family left for the United Kingdom from Benazir International Airport Monday morning. The Nobel laureate, during her 4-day visit, met with Prime Minister Shahid Khaqan Abbasi. She also went to her hometown of Swat and visited her old school. Strict security was witnessed as the youngest Nobel laureate departed the country, with unauthorized personnel restricted from the airport's premises. Malala landed in Islamabad on Thursday after spending nearly 6 years abroad, and her arrival was kept secret due to security reasons. Pakistan condemns ballistic missile attacks on Saudi Arabia. Pakistan has strongly condemned Houthi ballistic missile attacks on Saudi Arabia and warned that repeated attacks by the Yemeni militia posed a threat to the holy places and the security of the kingdom. The Foreign Office in a press release stated that Pakistan commends the government of Saudi Arabia for destroying the missiles and limiting the casualties. The press release further stated that the government and people of Pakistan reiterate their full support and solidarity with the leadership, the government and people of Saudi Arabia against any threats to its territorial integrity and against the Haramain Sharifain. Indian Army martyrs 17 Kashmiris in Indian-occupied Kashmir. 20 people have been killed in Indian-held Kashmir in some of the fiercest fighting this year in the restive Himalayan region, police said, as authorities braced for more violence. A total of 3 Indian soldiers and 13 Kashmiris died in several clashes south of Srinagar, the main city of the region. Kashmir has been divided between nuclear-armed India and Pakistan since the end of British colonial rule in 1947, but both claim it in full. 4 civilians were also killed and dozens injured when police opened fire on thousands of demonstrators who poured onto the streets, throwing stones and chanting slogans against Indian rule. There were also demonstrations in Srinagar, where authorities ordered all schools shut on Monday as rebel groups called for protests. Indian scientists lose contact with satellite. India's National Space Agency has lost contact with the satellite days after it was launched into orbit with much fanfare, authorities said on Sunday. The Indian Space Research Organization lost communication with the Zia-JIT-6A satellite as it prepared to undertake its third and final orbiting maneuver on Saturday. Efforts are underway to establish the link with the satellite, ISRO said in a statement. Kim Jong-un attends concert by South Korean entertainers. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un on Saturday attended the first concert in Pyongyang for over a decade by South Korean entertainers, including a K-pop girl band, the latest gesture of reconciliation before a rare inter-Korean summit. The visit, described by many as a cultural charm offensive by the South, came as a diplomatic thaw quickens on the peninsula after months of military tensions. Royal Air Force celebrates its 100th anniversary. Queen Elizabeth II has sent congratulations to Britain's Royal Air Force on the 100th anniversary of its founding. The Queen's message was read at a breakfast reception held on Sunday at a central London building that served as the RAF's first headquarters. The Royal Air Force was created on April 1, 1918, through the merger of the Royal Flying Corps and the Royal Naval Air Service. Its reputation is strongly associated with the extraordinary bravery and skill of the pilots who defended Britain against Germany's Luftwaffe during World War II. Philippines starts vote recount in Marcos' son's contest for vice presidency. The Philippines on Monday began a manual recount of votes in a vice presidential election after the son and namesake of former dictator Ferdinand Marcos contested the outcome, while the incumbent assured supporters her win was not in doubt. Ferdinand Marcos Jr., a former senator popularly known as Bong Bong, is furious about having lost to Leni Robredo by about 260,000 votes in a May 2016 elections, which he says was marred by massive cheating. China says space station burns up over South Pacific. China's Tiangong-1 space station re-entered the Earth's atmosphere and burnt up over the South Pacific on Monday, the Chinese Space Authority said. The vast majority of the craft burnt up on re-entry at around 8:15 a.m. The authority said in a brief statement on its website, without saying exactly where any pieces might have landed. Brad Tucker, an astrophysicist at Australian National University, said the remnants of Tiangong-1 appear to have landed about 100 kilometers northwest of Tahiti. No Gaza inquiry, Israeli Defense Minister says. Israel's Defense Minister rejected on Sunday calls for an inquiry into the killing of 15 Palestinians by the military during a Palestinian demonstration that turned violent on Friday at the Gaza-Israel border. Hamas, the dominant Palestinian group in Gaza, said 5 of the dead were members of its armed wing. Israel said 8 of the 15 belonged to Hamas, designated a terrorist group by Israel and the West, and 2 others came from other militant factions. Damir Bhasha Dam, over 14,000-acre land transferred to Wabda. A chunk of land measuring 14,325 acres of the total 18,357 acres of private land has been transferred finally to the Pakistan Water and Development Authority, paving way for the authorities to move forward for the execution of the 4,500 megawatt Damir Bhasha Dam project. Its location is 40 kilometers downstream of Chelas, the district headquarters of Damir in Gilgit-Baltistan. It will displace 30,350 people living in 4,266 households of 32 villages situated above the dam site on both left and right banks of River Indus. First T20. Pakistan outclassed Windies in one-sided encounter to record 143-run victory. Pakistan thrashed a depleted West Indies side by 143 runs in the first T20 on Sunday at the National Stadium in Karachi, the first international match in the city after 9 years. Pakistan, the world's top-ranked T20 side, equaled their highest total in the format of 203 for 5 in 20 overs before bowling the West Indies out for their lowest ever T20 total, 60 runs in 13.4 overs. The West Indies, missing their regular skipper Carlos Braithwaite and stars like Chris Gale and Kieron Pollard, could not handle Pakistan's varied bowling attack. Weather. Mainly dry weather is expected in most parts, while hot and partly cloudy weather in central and southern parts of the country. However, light rain thunderstorm is expected at a few places in Malakand Division, Upper Fata, Kashmir and its adjoining areas.
Please subscribe to HumSub.TV and hit the notification icon on the screen to get the latest updates of our channel. Thank you for watching HumSub.TV.